What's up, everyone? This is Lauren. The episode you are about to listen to was lovingly brought to you by a completely DIY little group. We are currently sitting around, well, not currently, I'm solo, but the episode you're about to hear will be sitting around one microphone, 3 people, and as funny as that is, it's very hard to clean that sound up and make sure that you guys are getting the best quality of episode that we can bring you. So for the month of July, we are doing a fundraiser. Just whatever you can donate is we're super grateful for. It's going to be basically just to help us defray some of the costs of a recording device and microphones and boom mics. So if you want to check that out, go onto any of our socials. We've got that. And here, enjoy the episode. Bye.
A well-behaved woman is trim and proper. Chores always done, not a hair out of place. When the husband comes home, she greets him with a smile.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Are you tired of Hitler?
Have your mercy.
Okay, one liar as a kid can find another liar.
I want that stricken from the record.
We're gonna learn if she doesn't have a feather.
I can go fuck in the big house.
You're a mess, girl.
I am here to audition for Babysitters Club extras. I brought my own hammer. Hello and welcome everyone to Well-Behaved Women. I am one of your hosts, Hannah, and I'm here with our main host, Lauren, and as always, Big B. Hello.
Hey.
If you're new, each week, Lauren tells us a tale of a legendary, iconic, badass woman, and we have no clue who it is.
She could be badass, or she just could be bad.
That's true. She could be badass,
There
or
are
she
options.
could... Yeah.
She could also have a bad ass.
Oh.
She could also have a very
Option C.
bad ass. A misbehaved donkey, if you will.
A misbehaved donkey?
I thought you were just going to stop at misbehaved donk. Which is Either way.
Love it.
I could eat ass all day, every day.
Whoa.
You can if... Good for you.
It's a line from...
I know.
I do not. What is it?
It's a line from Letterkenny.
Oh, I missed that episode. I haven't gotten through all of it.
It's the Dick family. They had... If you've met the Dicks
Everything
yet,
with them is sexual.
everything is sexual.
Got you.
All right, so we ready for today's tale?
I
so.
am.
Okay. On this year in history, the first basketball game is played in public between students and faculty at the Springfield YMCA before 200 spectators.
Which Springfield?
I don't know.
Oh,
The
there's
world's
so
first fingerprinting bureau is formally opened by Buenos Aires Chief of Police.
So I'm going to start guessing because the basketball one I heard about the beginnings of basketball, and I have to remember what year. And I feel like it was more recent than I originally thought. I know it's from Canada. That has nothing to do with the year. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to guess 1920s.
As always, I want more information.
You want more information? Okay, let's see. The Cook Islands issue their first postage stamps.
Cool.
The Homestead Strike begins.
Homestead strike. Sounds familiar, but I can't put a year on it.
The father and stepmother of Lizzie Borden are found murdered.
Alright, that makes the 1920s wrong.
I would guess the 60s, maybe.
Lizzie Borden?
I don't know what that is.
Wait, you said the grandparents of Lizzie?
The parents of Lizzie Borden
Oh,
are
okay.
found murdered.
Okay, so it is the date that... Okay, so it's that year that
Who
she
is
did
that?
that. Lizzie
Lizzie
Borden?
Borden? Lizzie Borden took an
axe,
axe.
gave her parents
40
40 whacks. Wait, how did it go?
No, gave her father 40
40
whacks.
whacks.
When her mother saw...
No, you were right.
Her mother saw what she had done, she gave her mother 41.
Okay, she knows the rhyme much better than I do, but it was like an old nursery rhyme that kids would play with like a...
Oh, we're going to tell the Lizzie Borden story.
Oh, okay, so maybe let's
Not
call
today, but...
Let's
No.
call it turn of the century, like maybe 1900-ish.
I'm going to guess 1880s.
All right, so Hannah gets it.
Woo!
It's 1892.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
The
It
first thing I
works
said
for me
was
this
turn of
year.
the century.
Yeah,
It's
we're
only
doing
8
Price
years.
is Right
Yeah.
rules, so you got the under.
That is
As
true.
always.
As
As
always.
always.
As is tradition.
It's the polite thing to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Elizabeth Coleman was born in Atlanta, Texas. The town was named after Atlanta, Georgia, because that was the former home of a lot of Texas and Pacific Railway workers that moved to the town on the building of the railway.
I was just about to say, there's an Atlanta, Texas?
Yep.
It's a fucking London, Tennessee. Let's not...
All right.
There's
I
a
guess that's
Miami,
true.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced Miami.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the Miami tribe.
I did not know that. I thought it was just the accent and they made it the town name.
No, that's actually, like, the proper way to say it.
Okay, then never mind. I take back my whatever I said.
That's fine. You were ignorant, and now you are not.
I'm glad to no longer be ignorant in this way.
Of that fact.
Yeah.
You were blind, but now you see.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
For some fucking reason, Wikipedia says that Atlanta, Texas is hometown USA, but so is every other small town, if you've ever been part of one.
Yeah,
Hometown USA.
I have not been part of small towns.
You're not missing a whole lot.
Okay.
You really aren't.
Cool.
So Elizabeth was the 10th of 13 children.
Nice.
Poor mom.
That is a
They chose
lot.
that.
But it's, around this time, though, not entirely uncommon.
No, because only 9 of them survived childhood.
Oh, no.
You have to have a bunch of kids to maybe make a few of them survive.
People don't realize, like, children... The majority of your children living to adulthood is a very new thing, relatively speaking,
I know.
historically.
All of your children making it,
Like,
that's awesome.
The Lincolns lost all of their children.
Look, my parents
Thank
are
you,
batting
vaccines.
100, so
Yeah,
again...
right. Thank you,
Yeah,
lots of
thank you,
science.
vaccines. Like, lots of science, rigorous testing and retesting and FDA requirements.
Exactly.
Plumbing.
And plumbing!
Water.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm glad to have hot
Clean,
water at
reliable
ready.
water.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, it's hot water at the ready.
Uh-huh. It's awesome.
I'm lucky.
I mean, unless you live here, then, there's lead pipes, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. Why do I keep getting shocked? I know these things. I know I heard about this recently.
Yeah, well.
So, her father, George, was a black man with Cherokee heritage. For the purposes of clarity, I'm going to use black as opposed to African American, but they're used interchangeably there.
Right.
Elizabeth's mom was also black. When she was about 2, they moved to Waxahachie, and her parents...
Waxahachie.
Waxahachie, Texas.
Yep.
And her parents worked as sharecroppers.
Okay.
Do you know what sharecropping is?
I can venture a guess, but please give a definition.
It's basically when a bunch of different families get together to farm the same land.
I was thinking.
It's really difficult for one family to rent that land from the owner, or God forbid to even try to buy it, but they can all go in together and make it a lot easier. It's essentially creating a commune, but specifically for farming.
So somebody owns that and gets a lot of the profits off of it?
Not necessarily a lot. It depends on
But
the
a
situation.
portion.
Like then, racially, probably yes,
Yeah,
because
that's
black
what
people
I'm
really
thinking
didn't have that many
happened here.
rights.
I have some of it written down, and we can go through it if you'd like.
The numbers.
Yeah.
Always.
Cool.
So it's basically land. You're absolutely right. So landowners will essentially lease out parts of their land to tenants in exchange for a share of whatever the tenant produces
Like
on
tenement
that
farming?
land.
Like rent.
It's like tenement farming. So owners will let the tenants use the equipment, the seeds, live on the land, and usually they're in like a shack on the land.
Right.
And whatever the
or multiple shacks.
Yeah. So in exchange, when the harvest comes, so they're basically putting them into a shack on debt. And when the harvest comes, they usually get like a third to a half of whatever the crop yields.
Okay.
Further, local merchants would let sharecroppers buy food and goods on credit with the promise that the funds they made from their remaining crops would be used to pay back the merchants.
Okay.
Basically, created little company town based on taking advantage of so much of a share of this person's little farm, little plot.
So when they hit harder times, the farmers themselves are getting hit the hardest.
Well, especially in the Great Depression. Like the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl caused a lot of sharecropping, especially the black families, to move into the cities after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gave them incentive to do well in their farming, but was hardly a guarantee of income. Many sharecroppers never broke even and would remain indebted to their landlords and the merchants basically forever.
And also, if I could just say, that's most farmers as well. They're only breaking even. They're not most like... I'm not talking about the huge industrial factory farms that we have that provide, so
No,
much
but Billy
whatever.
Joe Bob down the country road
Exactly.
and his farm.
The amount of property taxes that they have to pay, and also there are certain years where the government literally is like, all right, we're gonna pay all your taxes and everything this year to not farm it.
Yeah.
Just sit on it for a
Yeah.
year or however many years.
Which state again are we in?
Right now, Colorado.
We're in Texas.
No,
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm so bad at sarcasm.
Waxahachie, come on.
Waxahachie.
That's right, Waxahachie, Texas.
So, in some cases, all of this was helpful for both the parties, and contracts would be mutually beneficial. So, like, if the crop was good that year, it really wasn't a big deal. Like, okay, yeah, a third of it can go to you, that's fine. I'm still going to make a lot of money.
I'm coming out fine.
But sometimes tenants would actually sign rent contracts, and they'd be able to keep the entire crop in exchange for a certain amount paid in rent. So, like, if they had a little bit of savings saved up, they could just sign a rent contract and say, I'm just going to pay you cash.
Okay.
And I'm going to get to farm this land, and I keep whatever I farm.
Okay.
And so I get to keep 100% of the profits of 100%.
And then it doesn't. Then your yield doesn't affect what you have left.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot safer.
It's easier to plan.
If you have enough capital built up at the first part of it to be able to kind of pay up, yeah. But a lot of these people are getting sharecropping on credit because they didn't have that capital to be able to start. Mm-hmm. So some people were able to move their way out of it because they had, maybe a good crop yield one year, and they were able to have a little bit more. And they can move or change the terms of their agreement or whatever.
There'd be a lot of extended families too, going in together.
Well, yeah, because a lot of right here, Elizabeth's mom is black, so she might have been. Was she a slave that was recently free?
Yeah, both her parents were black, and basically it was like, well, slavery is not legal anymore.
But this is another form.
If this is the 1880s, they almost would have certainly had to have been.
Yeah.
1890s.
Right, but
even just a generation removed.
Yeah, there's
you were still born in
Texas.
If they weren't, their parents certainly were.
Yes.
In a place where they still had sundown towns.
Right.
Yeah.
Sundown towns.
Oh my God, those are terrifying.
Yeah, and they still exist. There are still sundown towns. It's crazy.
I hate it. Yeah, actually I did. You're right. Recently I saw a video of somebody describing their experience as a truck driver going through a sundown town, and he did everything he could to avoid it, but he had to get gas. And, everybody was staring at him, and it was just like the sun. It was getting close to 9 o'clock.
You better get out of here, boy.
Yeah, so he was
It's crazy.
terrified for his life, but he got through. So good that he got through, but horrible that they exist.
There was a county in Georgia, literally all through high school, Fulton County, super, super racist county. Not fun for black people.
No!
At all. When Bessie was 6, she began to attend elementary school in a little wooden shack. She had to travel 4 miles by foot to get there.
I'm so excited I know who this is!
I don't know if that was round trip or one way, but she's 6 years old and she's going on the snow, uphill in both ways.
No, girl was determined.
Yes.
Wait, how old is she at this point?
She's 6.
Oh, little girl. Oh my God. Little baby.
So the school was obviously segregated and was so poor in funds that often they didn't have paper or pencils for the students to work with. But Bessie didn't let that stop her. She really wanted to make something of herself, and she said so often.
Girl had confidence. Hell yeah.
Confidence, girl. As was practice at the time, every year, everything else was put on hold when it came time for the harvest. Bessie would stop school to be used as child labor to bring in the cotton harvest. Fun family time for all.
Yeah, well, you gotta eat.
Yep. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And given their situation, every tiny bit counted.
Yep. In 1901, George left. He didn't like how things were so discriminatory and waxahachie, so he moved to Oklahoma for better opportunities. Which, honestly, having lived in Oklahoma, I can say, what the hell?
It's a lateral move.
Yeah, at best.
Different time, though. Maybe there were some real opportunities, but no.
Closer to the Mason-Dixon, that's about it.
Hey.
So when she was 12, Bessie was able to attend on scholarship the Missionary Baptist Church School. She loved and excelled at math and was a very smart girl. She saved the little money that she earned from cotton picking seasons, and when she was 18, she attended Oklahoma Colored Agricultural and Normal University in Langston, Oklahoma.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that name?
Oklahoma Colored Agricultural and Normal University.
And Normal University.
And Normal University.
Is that like...
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're not sure if that's a proper noun
I got
or just
nothing.
an adjective.
Not one of those hippie universities.
This isn't one of those run-of-the-mill... Well, not run-of-the-mill. What am I thinking?
It's an institution.
It is now known as Langston University.
Oh. Oh, okay.
But it was a historically black university.
Yeah.
And so her money only lasted one term, and when she ran out, she had to go back home.
Okay.
She kept working and saving money, and in 1915, Bessie was 23 and ready to take on the big city. So she moved to...
Oh, I'm blanking.
Where are you guys from?
Chicago.
She
Chicago!
moved to Chicago.
Chicago, Chicago, that title of town. Sorry. I loved that song for a really long time. Not the person who sang it.
I was going to say, it sounds like you still do.
I like the song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You said I loved it for a long time. Like, I don't think that ended.
Yeah, why did I say that in past tense?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Good call.
Is the person in past tense?
Isn't it Frank Sinatra? I might be
there's-
wrong.
Yeah, there's different versions of it.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not sure who originally sang it, but I think it definitely at one point I heard the Frank Sinatra version.
My kind of town, Chicago is. Yeah, I mean, there's a
Beautiful
hundred.
voice.
Damn.
Oh, that. No, wait.
No, that was amazing.
Okay, moving on.
Snaps. Sorry.
Listen to him sing for a little while. I love it.
Take
We'll
my
do
jacket
plenty of
off
that
real
off
quick.
mic.
Sounds great.
Got a little warm. Knew I shouldn't have worn jeans.
You had a very 90s vibe going on.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
feeling it.
So in 1915, Bessie went to Chicago to live with her older brothers. There she drove around.
Did she?
No, she didn't.
Oh, I was gonna say, damn.
It's pretty
Damn.
She.
Progressive as hail.
I was gonna say she knew what was. She knew the future was in cars, but
Sheesh, a young black woman driving around in the 1900s? Damn.
What?
well,
Yeah.
wait till you hear what else she did.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear. There's no record of her doing that, just for the
Yeah,
record.
for accuracy's sake.
So she attended Burnham School of Beauty Culture and once graduated, worked at a barber shop as a manicurist.
Dope.
Hey.
Yes, men, you can go get manicures. It's real nice.
Yeah.
You probably should.
You probably
mean,
should get a fucking manicure.
Yeah, for nail health.
Yeah, your nails
Like,
are fucking nasty.
I actually do probably need to go in. I haven't had mine checked in a while.
This is the leftover of my pedicure, and you can see how long it has been growing because
Where the nail line.
where it happened.
Yeah,
that was
I
in
know.
March, and so you're just kind of
Usually-
like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I ignored my toes a lot. So.
Yeah, you know, we're just getting out of winter,
Yeah,
so.
whatever.
If you're going to do the feet thing, you can't be ignoring your toes anymore.
No, but if I'm making money doing the
Wait,
feet
no, but
thing,
there's
then I
a
can
niche
afford
for
to go
that.
get pedicures.
That's what I'm saying.
You know there's a niche
At
for
some
someone
point-
who loves an outgrown nail polish. Sorry. I just coughed and laughed at the same
You
time.
said niche, but I think you meant kink.
Yeah.
Or kink.
What
Yeah.
about-
Well, no, what? Okay, so wait. Niche, my
It can be a
understanding.
niche kink.
Yeah, it's like a niche. My understanding is just like a very selective interest in.
Yes.
I would also say a kink could fall into the same category.
It can, but yeah, with. I mean, maybe somebody
With a
just
sexual overtone of it.
maybe
though.
somebody might like
You
it
know-
non-sexually. They just really. I mean, I guess they're not going
If
to pay
Freud has
money
taught
for
us
it.
anything, it's that most things are sexual. So, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I sell feet pics. I'll actually pay the money to get a manicure. But for right now, nobody's paying to see my feet. So
Yeah, true.
Well, go ahead.
Back to Bessie. In the news.
Yep.
Ding, 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 ding.
Elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a true
What?
transatlantic thing too.
Whoa.
No, you know Bessie Coleman's
Yeah.
story enough to know this is true transatlantic, so I can lean into that.
Yeah, lean
Oh.
into the
All right.
voice. Give me some Mallory Archer vibes.
Some Mallory.
I don't know where. I meant to say vibes, and I don't know. I was going to say voice.
Who's
and
Mallory
Bags?
Archer?
I don't know.
Mallory Archer from Archer. There's
Oh,
his mother.
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. You mean Lucille from Arrested Development?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yep.
do. Wait, what's
She'll
her-
always be Lucille 1.
Wait, what was the
Wait.
Jessica
Joe.
Walters? It's Jessica Walters is the voice actress.
Yeah,
And
yes,
actress.
Yes.
She's very
R.I.P.
funny.
R.I.P. Very much. I miss her.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I've,
Miss
What do
I've
bananas
heard.
cost? Like $12?
oh,
I want to rewatch watch Arrested Development
She's
now.
so good.
We've watched it 1,000 times.
I don't watch the last season.
Mother, I'm going to army.
Every actor in that is incredible.
It was ahead of its time.
Elsewhere in the world.
Woo!
Right. We're in the
Meanwhile.
Meanwhile, in the 1910s, World War I was just a raging across the sea. Soldiers were being shipped off and dealing with revolutionary methods of warfare, specifically in the air. The Wright brothers had their first successful flight in 1903. By 1905, they had developed planes that could be in the air for a sustained period of time. And technological advancements just grew from that point.
Sidebar, they were weird.
They were super weird.
Anyway,
Yeah.
watch Drunk History on them for a fun version of that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It is.
Aircrafts were first used by the Italians in Libya in 1911 as reconnaissance, and by 1912 they were used for aerial photography and to drop grenades.
Oh, why?
Bombs away.
Bombs away.
I know why, but like, come on.
I was going to say, I can give you a few
No, I
reasons.
know, and every time you get in there, I'm always like, damn it, I should have just said I know why before he started going into it.
Different countries were using planes for different uses at that point, but the technology was new and shiny, so they got really creative.
As is tradition with all new inventions.
Right.
Especially weapons.
And the tech we're doing now, as previously stated.
Absolutely. By World War I, planes were the fancy, cool technology, and only accessible to the most talented of soldiers. Pilots from the war would come back to the States and tell their stories to their friends, their family, and the barbers that treated them.
But also, like, you had to be... I'm going to say something that's insensitive and, whatever. A midget. I'm just kidding. You don't have to be a midget. But, like, cockpits for planes are... You can't be taller than, like, 5'9".
Yeah, you've got, like, height limitations.
Like,
Yeah.
as a humongous male...
With all those G-forces.
Yeah, but also, like,
But
I've
that
never
didn't exist
understood...
back then. You're barely up in the air
I'm
at
sorry.
that point.
I'm thinking way right now. My bad. Yeah, you didn't really have that many G-forces going on at the
You're
time.
thinking Top Gun Maverick.
I know,
why am I
mode,
thinking
like,
Top
not-
Gun?
These are
Yeah.
still prop planes. Chill.
These are like, we got the two little wings and
Yeah.
We gotta
with
fucking
the
spin the
engine.
thing by hand to
Yep.
get it going.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot. This is when people, this is when people were like doing like balancing acts while they were flying
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
jumping
yeah,
from
that
plane
kinda
to
shit.
plane.
Right.
Like this
Right.
is the dumb jackass era.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
I love it.
Here we
Yes. So Bessie would listen to these stories from soldiers and her brothers who had been in the war and was absolutely fascinated by the world of flight. Her brother John even teased her about it, saying that women in France were superior to African American women because French women were allowed to fly. Obviously, this made Bessie decide that was what she was gonna fucking do.
Yeah, all
Jelly
because of
Bro?
a bet. A bet, like, oh really?
Yeah.
Bet, let's fucking do it. Yeah.
I'm better than that.
How much you want to bet?
So she had absolutely no money for school, so she got a second job as a restaurant manager. So she was in Chicago for 5 years working and saving. During that time, she made good friends with people like Robert S. Abbott and Jesse Binga.
Abbott.
Jesse was a famous banker, and Robert founded and published a newspaper called the Chicago Defender,
Oh, there it is.
which is an African-American newspaper and is still in existence to this day.
All right, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
I was like, I feel like that has something to do with the news, but I can't put my finger on where I've seen it.
Yep, Robert S. Abbott. We've mentioned this a few times already, obviously, but in order to understand exactly why Bessie was so revolutionary, we three white people have to talk about
Race.
racism.
Yeah, we got to talk about
Woo.
racism in this time.
So much fun.
I will just flat out say
That was sarcastic. I do not think that this is fun.
no, not at all. I will be learning a lot here about this.
It's been like one of those really fascinating topics as I learn more about people that, especially in the South, that are coming up. Like, holy shit, it's crazy.
I mean, I grew up there, and I myself had to kind of deprogram a bit. I wasn't like saying racist things or anything, but my mindset was just so very generalized to my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got up to Chicago, I had to learn a lot. Anybody from that high school will call me out on it.
You're also like dark white, so you have like an interesting thing going on.
Yeah, I'm part Lebanese,
Right.
because I don't know if anybody knows that, but I don't think we talked about it. But yeah, I'm like tan.
Yeah.
So like when I was growing up, I mean in Texas, I had friends who were, Latino, And so he would ask me, like, the first day I got to school there, he was just like, are you Jewish? Are you
Yeah, you're very
Mexican?
ambiguous.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
very, because it's so much, like, white. I'm, like, 68% white.
Whatever.
Like, white. Scandinavian, English.
Just enough to fill that gray area where people can't figure it out.
Yeah, and then my dad is, like, half Lebanese, so, like, I got, like, a third of me that lets me sunburn much later. And I've always held it over all my white friends, like white Irish friends.
Yeah, the tiny bit of Italian in me allows me to do that, where it's like I'll get maybe
Congrats!
2 burns a year and then I tan the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
All right, so racism. Let's talk about it. Schools are segregated into white and black. Jim Crow laws are in effect in many southern states. Do you guys know about Jim Crow laws?
Oh, I know the basics, but I don't know the experience.
All right, so just a quick little... Some of the worst states for Jim Crow were in Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, and pretty much everything south of the Mason-Dixon line. In general, and with few exceptions, black people just did not get the same opportunities, treatment, or even living conditions that white people were. It was a whole idea of separate but equal, but basically it was just a way to...
Yeah, on paper, and you're not even really then.
Yeah. All right, pilot programs were very few and far between because aviation was far from being commercialized. And though Harriet Quimby had earned an aviation license in the U.S. in 1911, she was white. There was not a school in the U.S. that would take a native African-American woman.
Yeah, so she was basically ready at the gates to be revolutionary, and just a white lady just got there first.
But she was white, so she could actually go through the school. They just weren't going to let her do it in the U.S. There's just too many minorities to make sense of. You can't be you can't be this many things, and we're not going to do it. So Bessie saved and worked, and she spoke with Robert and Jesse extensively about how she was going to accomplish this monumental task. The only way they could think of was to send Bessie to Europe to train, where they didn't have the same kinds of bias in every single aspect of the world over there. She went to Paris in 1920. Jesse helped finance the trip, and when Bessie got to Le Courtois, France, Robert Abbott wrote about her journey in aviation school. Basically, he published it in The Defender while she was doing it. She later said, in all caps, it says where Hannah reads.
Voice?
Do you want to do the thing that Hannah reads?
No.
In all caps, it says Hannah reads. In the
Right. I also want to restate, I didn't mean to make it sound like Bessie wasn't revolutionary just because a white lady got there first.
No, but you're right.
But it's like that she was gate kept, I guess, is the kind of...
Yes.
Yeah, she was absolutely gate kept.
Well, also, like, by virtue of her age, she was just younger, and so she hadn't gotten to that. Like, there was no way for her to really quite bridge that gap, because she didn't even know about it at the time.
Yeah, it was just... somebody broke that barrier. As a woman broke a barrier before she had the... Well, I'm just getting
and we'll go into Harriet Quimby at some point.
Yeah.
But Bessie was just like, I mean, I'm not going to get to go to school here. Nobody's going to teach me. They just refused.
So she's like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm going to learn. Yep. All right, here we go. Sorry, Hannah reads. I first went to Paris and decided on the school. But the first to which I applied would not take women because 2 women had lost their lives at the game. So I went to another school at the Somme-le-Courtois, the city where Joan of Arc was being held prisoner by the English. Damn. If that's not foreshadowing, in a way.
I was going to show you what a Newport 564 is.
That's all right. You can do that in Notion for free. Non-sponsored, but I love Notion personally.
No plugs!
You know what? Maybe someday I could get lucky, but I doubt it.
A Newport what? It sounds like a cigarette in an airplane had a baby.
Oh my God!
What did you just say?
It's a menthol!
Yeah. A menthol jet.
It smells like mint. And a little bit of dirt.
564.
Sounds like a plane.
I need to know.
It is a plane. It's an old type of plane. I was trying to find a picture of it for you.
It's a Bernie is what it is.
I'm gonna see if I can look it up online.
This is a picture of Bessie on.
Yeah, I told you it was fucking.
Yes.
Double wings. Yeah.
She is just. She's posing.
Oh yeah.
As she fucking should.
Oh yeah.
Look at that footwork on the wheel.
Yep. She's got her balance on. Oh yeah.
Her. She is one of my other idols next to my other idol, Amelia Earhart, who was she the one who broke the barrier before?
No.
No.
Harriet Quimby was the first woman to get
I got
her
my
pilot's
timelines.
license.
That's right.
In
Harriet
America.
Quimby. You just said that. But no, Bessie is up there with Amelia in my heart.
So Bessie learned inside this vehicle how to fly with, quote, a steering system that consisted of a vertical stick the thickness of a baseball bat in
Whoa.
front of the pilot and a rudder bar under the pilot's feet. The craft was known for failing frequently, often in the air. She even witnessed a classmate die in a plane crash, which was absolutely traumatizing for her.
I'm pantomiming this, trying to understand.
And then you're doing that and also this.
Oh, God. You look like a toddler trying to figure out how to move.
It's not so much the
That's
left.
an ab workout if I've ever tried one.
Yeah, the left to right would be under your feet.
Okay.
So like that would be you'd
So-
have pedals or like a bar that would like
I've seen those.
right. So like
Okay,
your
so you're
feet would be
kinda-
turning you left to right, and then the bat just goes forward, makes you go up and down.
What
and
is
then
it,
there's
like,
a brake attached
Something
to that
heel, pitch, and yaw, or something like
Yeah,
that.
something
There's
like that. I mean, I'm not a
That's-
pilot. I just know
it's
what
three
those planes look
different
like.
directions.
Yeah, for the three-dimensional movement.
Yeah.
And then if you're,
Yeah,
Okay.
But those planes, it's just a forward and back for up
Yep.
and down, and then there's a brake on that lever.
The main takeaway being here, it's extremely physical on her.
yes, and very,
Yeah.
very difficult in a plane that failed frequently.
And also think about
Wow.
because what's failing about it is the engine, right? The
Yep.
one mechanical component
That
about the
should
entire
really
thing.
keep going.
Yeah, and in the air, you're literally floating. So she then has to climb out of the cockpit on top of the bridge of the wing to then restart the propeller.
I'm
So
trying
one
to
of the
close
things,
my ears.
well, one of the things that they were, that these were actually really good about was that they were pretty light, so they could
They could
hit
glide.
These, they could
Oh yeah,
hit
you
these
can
air
coast
currents
for a while.
And
you
I
can
know
coast.
that, yeah.
You basically are gliding
Like
for a
hang
long
gliding.
time
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you were
Just
able
the
to
idea of
restart the
getting
engine,
out
but
is
like
the part that's
Oh, yeah.
freaking me
Yeah.
out. Is
Uh-huh.
the getting out part because I had
Right.
an ex.
you're not gonna like the
Buckle
rest
up.
of this.
Unbuckle and seatbelt sign is off, and you can get out and coach restart the engine.
That's right.
Because my ex he was a pilot, or he was getting his pilot's license, and he decided one day to take me up in this tiny two-seater,
Yeah.
but it's enclosed,
Yeah.
and you don't have to get out. And that was terrifying enough. I was white-knuckling it the whole time, and he's just like, and he decided to go on a choppy, very
You got to
turbulent
think too.
day.
Like this is right around the same time that like cars were invented. So
I
like they're still
know.
figuring engines out at all.
I know,
Right.
but
Let alone putting them up in the air.
But just the height. I mean, good for you, girl. But like the height factor.
girl.
I can't get over the height factor. You
Make
can
sure you
hear
got
the
your
tension
chute.
in
Yeah,
my
I can
voice.
hear the fear.
Yeah. Okay,
Make sure
continue.
you got to shoot.
You need some like grippy magnetic shoes. But they didn't know. Did they know about magnets?
Well, they knew about magnets.
I'm sorry, I brought magnets back into it.
nah, it's
Sorry.
fine.
You got me thinking.
Oh, these fucking magnets.
Open your third eye.
Fucking magnets, man.
Yeah.
7 months after her arrival to France, Elizabeth Badass Bessie Coleman became the first black Native American woman to earn her aviation license and the first black Native American woman to earn her international aviation license.
Call me ignorant, but I also did not know she was Native American as well.
Her dad was black and Cherokee.
Okay, I might have completely spaced
That was
on
right
that.
at the very beginning.
That's the THC funking with my brain.
All right, so she graduated in June, but she stayed over the summer taking more advanced flying lessons from a flying ace in Paris.
Ooh, an ace
An ace.
of spades.
She returned to the U.S. in September, where she was received with much celebration and sensation.
Hell yeah, as it should be.
So she gets home to Chicago, a fully licensed pilot. Now what? There's no such thing as a passenger plane back then, and transatlantic flights were for show more than for cargo shipment. If Bessie wanted to make a living as a pilot, she would have to become a performer.
Entertainer.
Over the winter, she tried to find anyone in the U.S. that would help her develop these skills, but again, the racism and all that. So in February 1922, she went back to France.
All right.
There she took advanced aviation courses and when finished, traveled to the Netherlands to meet with a guy named Anthony Fokker.
Anthony Fokker.
Fokker-
Meet the Fokkers.
Fokker was a Dutchman who'd been a pilot, mechanic, aircraft engineer for many, many years. He opened a number of airplane manufacturing companies, some located in Germany during World War I. He allegedly developed the Fokker DR-1, which was the tri-wing plane flown by the infamous Red Baron.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Red Baron.
The Red Baron.
Now of Red Baron Pizza.
Well,
No actual relation, I'm sure.
no, it's based
That's
on
exactly that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
it's exactly based
Scratch
on
that.
that.
Scratch that. I am wrong.
Clip it.
Clip it. Cut it out.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Thanks, Uncle Joey.
Yeah. No, he's a good uncle.
Following the war, he was disallowed to continue his factory in Germany, so he moved to the Netherlands and opened a
Disallowed.
factory there. Yeah. When Bessie visited the Fokker Corporation, she was able to get lessons from one of the company's chief pilots, and by September, she was ready to be an exhibition flyer, or as they were more colloquially called, a barnstormer.
Oh, now I know that term from the semi-pro Iowa football team, the Barnstormers.
Yes.
That's all I know.
Barnstorming was a form of entertainment in which stunt pilots performed tricks individually or in groups that were called flying circuses, devised to, quote, impress people with the skills of pilots and the sturdiness of planes. Became popular in the United States during the Roaring Twenties especially. Barnstormers were pilots who flew throughout the country to sell airplane rides and perform stunts. Charles Lindbergh first began flying as a barnstormer. Barnstorming was the first major form of civil aviation in the history of aviation.
Okay, so yeah, I've heard the flying circus.
Yep.
I've seen a parody of this on Family Guy with Quagmire being gross.
Yep.
And, okay, obviously that is a cartoon. But,
Lindbergh. The blimp.
but okay, yeah, so performing stunts, people
Right.
sitting on the bleachers, you're, out at not an airfield, but maybe an
Yeah,
airfield.
maybe. I
Or
mean,
like a big
they even
field,
do it at, like,
too.
races now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, literally at a track, if there was
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
We
like
got a
Have a
video.
sounds like any large social gathering could really have these overhead, you know?
I mean, we have flyovers now,
Yeah, the Blue
which
Angels
is like a much
and all-
tamer
yeah,
version.
Absolutely. Everybody knows the Blue Angels by now.
I'd say so.
Do kids know the Blue Angels still? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
I know NASCAR
Oh, yeah.
fans do. NASCAR
Every
fans
year,
do for
Seattle has a whole show.
sure. Okay, good.
America!
World War I was over.
Oh,
My
she's
grandpa
The
was a
military
mechanic in
had
the
a
Air Force, so he
surplus of
loves
Curtiss
all the planes.
JN4s, or Jennies, and standard airplanes.
The government just sold them to get rid of them, and they sold them really cheap. You could buy a Curtiss Jenny or Standard for $200, which probably cost $5,000 for the government to build. The original barnstorming pilots were guys that returned from the war or were trained to fly in World War I. And
money.
after the war, there was no
Right,
extra
they need to
pilots,
apply that
and
skill to
they actually
something.
didn't have jobs, so they wanted to fly more. So they created this whole industry for themselves. They picked these up and started flying, and it gave them
They
the
actually
freedom
will get to some of the
working
tricks,
for
so
themselves,
Okay.
be patient.
Sweet.
flying around the country giving rides.
Just giving rides.
Yep.
Just,
The name barnstorming came from politicians giving speeches,
All right.
people giving lectures.
You
Here
would
we go.
negotiate with the farm rides.
Okay, modern day.
It was a big
So they still use prop planes like that to spray fields.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. My cousin flies one, actually.
Oh, what are the emissions on that?
I think a lot of them are ethanol fuel,
Oh.
so they're actually not that bad.
Oh, that's good.
Vintage
All right, all right.
barnstorming clips. This is the one.
Breathtakers.
Whoa.
All right, let's guess. They are going to make everyone scream and then gasp.
Yeah,
So like a death drop.
or loop-de-loops and shit.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Illuminati.
Refueling in the air.
Refueling in the air.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Oh my gosh. That guy's just holding on.
Mm-hmm. They still do it like that, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've seen some version of
They
this.
get like little funnels,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's got a magnetic lock on the end of it.
magnets.
See?
It's magnets again.
Listen, magnets are everything. How many times do I have to say it?
It just. I'm
Everything
not,
is
all right.
magnets.
Can I say something that's kind of like ridiculous? First off, that plane looked like that's not appropriate, but back in the day it
That guy
was.
looks like Hitler in a straitjacket.
Yeah, it pretty much does look like somebody who. Oh, it's straitjacket for. Okay, I thought he was imitating
It's
somebody.
a circus stunt.
It's a circus
This
stunt.
is what we're talking about.
That's right. It's like
So
a.
this man is being hung from his feet, dangled out the plane
my
by like basically cables
Straps,
while
yeah.
he is in a straight.
Tries to get out of a
Tries
straight
to get out of a
jacket.
straight
Oh, and
jacket.
succeeded.
And
Yeah,
succeeds.
so he's gotten himself
and he just
He has a
unhooked.
parachute?
Yep.
Does
out of
he?
the jacket.
no, he's just chained to the thing.
Yeah. So he's now trying to just take it off his sleeves, I guess, and
Yep.
finally get rid of it. Are you just gonna drop it and somebody's gonna find it?
Yep,
Yeah,
pretty
it's a-
much.
it's a-
Oh, there it
Literally that.
goes!
Yeah. Bye.
Hey, and it's gone.
They didn't give a fuck about
I really
littering,
hope
man.
it hits someone in the face.
What the fuck is
I
this?
actually don't hope that because I mean at that speed it might
It's a
actually
sign
hurt
from
them.
God. I need to lock myself up.
So he unhooked his feet from being upside
Oh
down
my
and
God.
climbed essentially
It's just climbing.
like a
climbing back
7
in the
like
plane.
like a 6 or 7 foot rope. Like he just climbed up after hanging upside down
duh.
like that.
in a straitjacket.
Oh yeah, and sidebar, when they were refueling, that when the hose finally unhooked, it reminded me of when I had a fish, and sometimes you'd look over and it was pooping. And there would just
The
be this
string of
long
poop.
string of poop, and I just had a little momentary flashback to freshman year of college. Alright, so we got a plane landing with somebody taking
Yeah.
off. I'm sorry, but somebody's... it's...
No, it landed.
They just dropped him.
He just got dragged by a plane down a runway.
Well, he slid in some grass.
Yeah,
Still.
from a plane that was like not quite landing and then going back
Hovering,
up in the air.
kind
He
of.
was going,
Like, going
yeah.
down, going... And, now
And
they're
here
doing-
we just have a basic like up and down, but with two planes that are kind of coordinating.
They
with
look
each
like
other.
dolphins.
It's kind of like dolphins going, breaching the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have what looked like
Doing
Got like a
some
little
spins.
loop de loop
yep,
here.
somebody flying upside down.
down.
There's three
Two
planes.
people are flying upside down, and there's three planes.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, and
they're
look-
lining up,
Yep, and people are just jumping off the
Parachuting
wings
out
with their
in a
little
big line.
parachutes.
Neat.
big line across, and they're just parachuting, and now they're just.
They're gonna let those other planes crash.
Oh, it's kind of like when Dandelion
No, they still had the
puffs.
pilots, but they had extra people on the wings, and they all jumped off, which is fun. This one has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to say at least 7 engines, and
Oh,
it
wow.
is taking off from the water.
So like it's trying to be a hybrid vehicle almost.
Yes.
It's a boat as well as a plane.
This guy
Oh!
is holding on by his teeth from the axle of the plane wheels.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Jaw strength, I guess. I don't know.
You're
And
gonna
he has
lose.
to keep adjusting.
I
like,
know, because you can't hold on that way.
Not
yeah,
for that
not with
long.
your teeth.
So they're hanging
Not with
from
that attitude.
ladders.
And then I think they're just gonna probably jump off or
Yeah, it
something.
seems that way.
Yeah, I guess
Yep.
they're
Look, here we go.
Bye.
Geronimo.
1, 2, 3.
Bing bong.
Boop, boop, boop.
Boom.
Yeah, just parachuters.
Yep.
I mean, this has to be like a piece of cake
This is still
after
a
you're
big
used
deal,
to jumping
though.
out of a fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or an airplane in the water.
Yeah, because again, I have to remind myself they are military men, but the teeth thing still, sir.
Right.
But yeah, this is routine for them.
This
yeah.
was also like peak circus time. So like
Yeah.
they're just doing the circus
This
in
is
the air.
air
that's
circus.
already
It's
existing.
literally called the flying circus.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is.
They keep looking down. I think one guy just was like, "Do I?"
They're
do
waiting
this?
for this guy to.
You
Oh!
gotta clear out of the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, there he
so
goes.
just
Now
falling
it's in
off of his
slow-mo.
parachute.
You gotta wait until the parachute pops so that the other guy can drop, and then this guy's going. Blue.
There it goes. That one.
Shoot, toot. And they just fly away. Bye.
The wind just goes. Phew,
Yeah, he's gonna get yanked.
phew. All right, we have. Oh, this is the crap I'm talking about. Walking around, tight roping on top of a plane.
And so this is a like double wing plane that is floating over what appears to be a city.
Yeah, oh,
and
it's-
this guy is literally climbing up a guy or girl. I don't know.
Assassin
It's
creating
literally
it.
climbing up a stripper pole.
Doing
on top
doing
of
a
the plane.
synchronized
He
in
is
Assassin's Creed.
also the pilot. If you
He's also the pilot.
If you look, there's
It is
nobody else
nobody
in
in
the
the
plane with
cockpit.
him.
Fuck. Oh
And
my
he's waving
God.
at us. He's like, "What's
No,
up?"
don't wave at me.
Hey.
Oh God, they'll do anything. Not all of these are breath takers, but some of them. Oh,
Oh, I love a good crash.
nice empty shed.
Plane went right into a shed.
Oh,
it was
just-
not empty. I don't think.
Oh no, was it not empty?
I have no idea. That's all.
Oh.
That's the only context that I have.
Okay,
gnarly.
well, all right. I'm
And
gonna.
that whole thing
I
falls in on you. I would say.
I choose to
not
believe it's
happy.
empty.
I want more crashes. Let's go.
You want more crashes?
People keep
Always.
just jumping out with their parachutes.
More parachuting.
More parachutes.
More parachuting. Oh, here's...
Oh.
Are they going to play tennis or fence?
Oh, God, they're going to do something. What are they doing?
They sure are.
It looks like they have fencing helmets on to me. Or am I wrong?
No, that's a whole plane behind them.
Oh, they're fencing.
No, I think they're just like
They're
tightrope
posing, I
walking.
think.
Yeah.
It looked like they were in a fencing pose. No, I guess you're right. They're just surfing on top of
They're
the plane.
surfing the plane.
They're surfing the airstreams.
Yes, they're anchored to cables.
They're going under a bridge.
Yep.
Good job. That's all I can say.
I wanted to see
Good
their heads
job.
get taken off.
I choose.
Also,
Oof.
like, awesome camera technology back then of,
Yeah, I'm
like,
actually-
mounting it on the wings and watching these people as they go through a fucking
That's.
underneath a bridge. That's
shit.
some
I was
GoPro
gonna say,
shit.
yeah, that is some forward thinking right there. Someone knew about GoPro in the future. I'm trying to see what's happening here. So you got
People are standing on the wings.
like in the middle though,
Yeah.
not on the full top this time.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
between
one on
them.
each side.
And it looks like
Okay.
two in the middle as well.
Yeah, something like
Just
that.
some visual intrigue.
Or maybe that's where the engines are. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
they're
And then
deploying.
they're jumping off.
Oh,
Yeah,
jumping
there
off
it
the
is.
wings.
So they parachuted off from that
Jeez.
stance. And yeah, they're just falling gently. Much calmer.
Actually, right around this time of year is when you start to see down in the Springs all the cadets parachuting
Really?
along. Yeah, the Air Force Academy is right off 25.
Right.
It's also where the football field is. If anybody's ever watched the Air Force play at home, that's the field they play at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the springtime during graduation, May and June, you see like just a bunch of parachuters jumping out of planes.
Nice.
If
Yeah.
you look towards the
Okay.
mountains, towards the west,
They deployed their parachute
from the
while
wing.
they were on the
To
plane,
get
and
yanked.
the parachute itself inflated and yanked them off the plane.
Oh, like an involuntary parachute.
They deployed it while they were still holding on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another stunt.
Oh, it's another stunt.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
and it's so like, okay, everyone on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, they all deploy,
And you
and they
basically
all
just jump back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wind coming at you naturally helps open
Oh,
the
so they
parachute
had it.
behind you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
it
what you
just-
guys are saying. That's what I get for not watching.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Oh. I can't really even tell what's happening, but it looks cool.
If I'm correct, the parachute deployed, and the person is like kind
On
of
top?
on top of the plane, and
Attached
it's
to the
now
plane.
kind of steering the plane, doing these little like spin
Oh,
around.
so he's
So-
like holding on probably with his feet, you think?
maybe
So he's probably wearing a belt that has
Oh,
cables
a
attached
belt.
to the
Why
wing.
did I go to
something
feet?
like that. Yeah.
Well, they were, you know what?
Well, the surfers were attached by cables.
I didn't see those cables.
Yes.
Okay,
so
so
he would have been attached.
Actually,
by
I
the
think
same
they were
cable.
just attached by poles, like they were standing and basically using like leg tension for it.
That would really be something. Seems like a lot of leg tension to carry a whole plane.
yeah.
Well, just to stand on top of it, it's like just don't move.
Oh,
and the
my God, he's in a
bathtub guy.
bathtub. The original Balloon Boy.
Yeah.
He's literally floating in the sky in a bathtub. Again, great use of cameras.
Yeah.
This guy, and then this guy who's videoing this guy.
Oh, he's
You've got
splashing
at
him.
least 2 cameras
has
up
water in
there.
there.
I gotta prove there's water in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Otherwise, what was the
splashing
tub
him.
for?
Otherwise,
Courtesy of airboyd.tv.
so that was a fantastic.
paid $1,000.
Oh,
Lucky
are
you.
Oh, are you?
Fuck off. So that was a fantastic little compilation of kind of what barnstorming is all about.
Neat.
Yeah, I really appreciate the bathtub guy. That is style, innovation,
Yeah.
and amazing.
Yep. So the very first barnstormer was a man named Charles Foster Willard. He was the 10th person ever to receive his pilot's license, and the first one to be taught by early engineer Glenn Curtis, who is also a very famous pilot. The first barnstormer is also the first person ever to be shot down in a plane.
Whoa.
He was up. Yeah, so he was up there one day, and a farmer below got annoyed with him, so he shot at the
Oh!
plane with a squirrel gun. The bullet hit the propeller,
America.
and down it went.
America.
A 22.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. a
It's
22
America.
rifle.
There you go. Right there
Yep.
in a title.
Gun violence.
He got annoyed, so he shot him.
Yep.
Unfortunate that that's America.
Surprised
So
it took it down.
You can just tell it's always been there.
barnstorming got really popular after World War One, because all of a sudden these pilots came home and they had no other skills, and commercial flights, like I said, didn't exist.
They didn't want this.
Well, they didn't exist yet.
Oh, that too.
So they ended up becoming these traveling barnstormers. So in order to make a living as a performer, these pilots would fly from small town to small town, and they do some tricks and fly low to the ground, like as they're coming in. And they get everyone's attention, and
exciting,
and there's like little flyers kind of coming in, like, okay, here at the Johnson farm, you know, this person's coming in, and so you do like really kind of close by, so everyone can hear you. You get to the farm, and you do some tricks and of kind of daring deeds in the air while you're kind of landing.
The loop-de-loops, the upside down.
And then you land, and then you can sell flights. So
I was going to say merch.
You basically, So it's like, I mean, it's an experience. So you can say, all right, for like $1 or, you know, $5 or whatever. I don't know what the price was, but basically you could sell these flights, and I'll take you up in the air with me for like 15-20 minutes or whatever, and then they can just go through these little townsfolk who've never been in a plane before.
Oh, this is big. This is new.
Yes, and then
look
you
how
can
shiny
do
it is.
super simple tricks with them, and then like the ones that could actually kill you, you do on your own.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, all of this is completely super dangerous. Could kill you. Like all of these things.
I mean, the era
People actually
alone
died.
should tell you.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Their safety, like previously, they were attached by maybe a cable.
If
but
they were lucky.
Like hanging from the plane by their teeth. So safety wasn't really a factor at this time.
Not a concern.
No, this was cool. Like the early internet.
Like smoking.
Oh.
Gee willikers, I want to fly in that death contraption.
Hey,
Let's
I'm just going to go on to this online chat room. I mean, same thing, but different time.
Stranger danger.
Also, you're getting in a plane with this
you
person.
get in a plane with a complete stranger, and they're just going to fly you around.
Yeah, he does cool tricks.
But maybe
Sounds like
maybe he was a little traumatized during the war.
It sounds like the easiest way to kidnap somebody.
Charlie was everywhere, and he's flying around. This little kid's crying.
What's your name, kid? Tommy. What?
Not anymore.
Tommy, not Tommy.
Your new name is.
I'm going down.
I'm going down.
Tommy, I'm your new dad.
I mean, this is not to make fun of PTSD, but it's just the situation of that there was no concern, or treatment for that, because they didn't know what PTSD was. Yeah.
And also Stranger
called
Danger
shell
didn't
shock,
exist. Like, a guy comes into town and he flies a plane, you're like, oh, he must be a really good pilot. Not, he got his hands on a plane and he could probably be like the death of 10 people in this.
Yeah, it's just the absurd negligence of safety, or, the understanding that strangers can be dangerous. It's very absurd to me now.
So, on returning home, a Chicago Defender reporter, I think it was Robert, probably, but he asked why...
will remain nameless.
Nameless, but I'm pretty sure it was probably Robert, because that was her buddy. They asked why she took up the game of flying, and she responded, Hannah reads.
All right. The air is the only place free from prejudices. I knew we had no aviators, neither men nor women, and I knew the race needed to be represented along this most important line, so I thought it my duty to risk my life to learn aviating and to encourage flying among men and women of the race who are so far behind the white man in this special line. I made up my mind to try. I tried, and I was successful. But I shall never be satisfied until we have men of the race who can fly. Do you know you have never lived until you have flown? Of course, it takes one with courage, nerve, and ambition to fly, and, too, age and health are to be given great consideration. But I am thankful to know we have men who are physically fit. Now what is needed is men who are not afraid to date death. To date death!
Step the fuck up!
Oh shit, I'm married to death at this point. Where the fuck are you?
Exactly.
I'm risking my
If I can do it, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
Nut up, boys!
Nut up.
Pretty much, in a 1910s kind of way.
So, Bessie's first appearance as a barnstormer was on September 3rd, 1922. The event was an American air show at Curtis Field in Long Island, and it was sponsored by Robert Abbott. It was honoring the all-black 369th Infantry Regiment. The show and newspaper advertising the event hailed Bessie as, quote, the world's greatest woman flyer.
Yeah.
She was one of 10 performers in the air that day.
Okay.
6 weeks later, she performed at a Chicago air show to honor the Black Devils, officially the 370th Infantry Regiment of Black Soldiers.
Wait.
It was an all-black regiment.
Okay.
So they called them the Black Devils.
Who called them the Black Devils?
It's like a military
it's like a
name.
military nickname.
Oh.
It's supposed
Squadrons
to be.
have their own
Okay,
little, like,
I was
thing.
gonna say.
No,
It's supposed to be
self-imposed.
intimidating.
I got you.
It's supposed to be terrifying.
I gotcha. Okay, just making sure
No, it's
I
just
know
in
the
today's
origin
climate,
of this
it's just
name.
a hilarious name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Devils. Hey, take it easy.
My God.
So at these shows, she performed figure eights. She would fly low to the ground, and she would do loop-de-loops with the planes. She toured wherever she could, whenever she could, selling tickets to fly with her and performing around the country as a world-famous stunt flyer. She still dreamed of amounting to something, and so when she did her performances, she would give motivational speeches and made sure that every event she worked was one where black and white people could walk through the same entrance.
Oh, wait, go back again?
So there was an event where she was going to perform. She was like contracted to perform, and when they were planning it, she found out that they were going to have separate entrances for the white people and the black people.
Okay.
And so she said, if you're going to do that, I'm not doing the show.
Good.
Booyah.
I get that. Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
they changed, and they were like,
if
all
she's
right,
the
cool.
headliner, then absolutely they can all come through the fucking same entrance, because
Exactly.
it's like, I want everybody to be able to see me on equal footing.
All right. This is the text from a flyer advertising that Waxahachie's Fly Girl was coming to town. Can you do a transatlantic as fuck
Oh, yeah.
flyer?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe. And if not, Nigel Thornberry is always the backup.
Here soon.
This just in, here soon, aviatrix Bessie Coleman, in person and on the screen with 2,000 feet of filming showing her flights in Europe and America. She's a ranch girl born in Texas, weighing 130 pounds. She's a graduate of the French School of Aviation at Paris, France, and is the only woman in the world that handles a 22-horsepower German-Benz plane. Flew over the palace of the ex-Kaiser in Berlin, Germany with a PATH cameraman. She's the only woman in the world holding an international pilot's license, enabling her to make flights in any country. The governor of Ohio and mayor of Columbus writes Miss Coleman letters of welcome, governor's letters, State of Ohio, Executive Department, Columbus. Being the first of anything is hard, but being a woman first of anything is nigh on impossible.
That was me.
Oh, my bad. I didn't see the end.
I love it. I was entranced the whole time.
I don't understand why this platform is not allowing me to have like all
Format
of the
things.
spaces
No, that's
that I
cool.
had. Yeah.
Oh my God. So, okay, they felt the need to say her weight.
Yep.
Can I see that again?
Oh yeah.
I'm a little visual, so I need to see it.
It starts right now.
Okay, thank you. Oh, she was on screen?
Yeah, they like filmed her flying.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
know.
you did say that. She's a ranch girl, weighs 135 pounds, 22 horsepower. That's, today, that's like an e-bike.
Motorcycles have more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, I mean, this was definitely so early on in terms of engines. You're right.
Just trying to keep the plane up in the air was like
Oh
the
yeah, you
biggest part
gotta
of the
get
battle.
it. Don't forget, you gotta get out, even if you're attached with the cable.
And also, like, for perspective, 22
Redo
horses
it.
is a fuckload of horses. That's a lot of horses.
I mean, that is still a lot of horses, but I mean, today you're talking about like, the average moped can
nothing.
probably
Yeah.
do something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
My mom's Vespa's got that on
No
lock.
doubt.
I told Gary, I was like, I want a Vespa. That's it. I want a scooter.
want one.
My mom
I
loved
want one
it.
so bad.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Yeah, she's gonna try to
sneak through
get
the town.
like a cheap one if she can when out there.
Oh, you probably can have. They've probably got a really good secondhand market for that.
I had a buddy
Maybe.
in college who he's a mechanic, and he had two of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
They're so fun.
I kind of want to get one just because it would be, easy to just get to work on the trails.
Yeah.
Although you can't do that on the trails. You can't have a Vespa on the trails, can you?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, okay,
No
never mind.
motorized
That's
vehicles.
scratch that plan.
You could have an e-bike on the trails and be
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, because an e-bike has pedals still.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do, and there's a rebate for the state.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like what, $500 or something.
I have to go back and look at it.
Makes sense. Those things are crazy expensive, though.
I know. And
All
the
right.
batteries are dangerous if you don't get the right ones.
All
Yeah.
lithium is dangerous.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. I mean, when you put it like that.
Being the first of anything is hard, but being a woman first of anything is just nigh on impossible. And especially because her skin has way too much melanin.
That's the other reason why she's
You
really
have too much
breaking-
melanin. You
Yeah.
cannot have a brain.
I know, and it's just, you gotta break that boundary. And
Yeah.
here she is.
Here she is. So she earned a reputation. The media, never one to back down from a good woman razzing, would
Yeah.
criticize her opportunistic nature and her flamboyant style, obviously.
Yeah, well, especially a black woman, they're gonna go after her hard.
Absolutely. But she also had a reputation as a skilled and daring pilot who would stop at nothing to complete a difficult stunt.
Damn right.
Quote, stop at nothing to complete a difficult stunt.
Yeah, she's still gotta prove her brother wrong.
Yeah. In February 1923, at a show in Los Angeles, Bessie's plane stalled midair and went down. From the wreckage, she emerged with 3 broken ribs and a broken leg.
Oh!
She obviously had to take time off after that.
Yeah,
and...
you can't steer that physical ship like that, sorry.
Right, no, you're fine. And, like, she doesn't have a ship, she doesn't have a plane anymore, and she doesn't have the ability to walk for a little while, and
Yeah.
now kind of, and they don't really have, like, insurance back then, so it's not like I can
No.
just go and get my claim for plane crash.
And there's no disability.
No,
at
so you
that
just
point.
gotta go and
I mean,
figure it the
disability
fuck
pay.
out. Right. So, she also decided, like, she's gonna work to get her plane back, but, okay, now I'm gonna work and I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna open up my own aviation school.
Hey!
Yeah.
Spread the knowledge!
So you also need money for that, so she continued on with these speaking tours around the country, and, with these she would hope to inspire black men and women to take up aviation. In Orlando during an event, she met the Reverend Hezekiah Hill and his wife Viola. They invited her to stay with them, so she did. She opened up her little beauty shop in Orlando, and she saved up some money to buy herself a Jenny.
Hezekiah, that's a cool name.
Hezekiah Hill.
I like the flow of that name.
Yeah. Some names just have a really good flow.
You know.
It's like they were born to be put in history.
Yeah.
I found some
They
really
roll off the
weird
tongue
names.
real easily.
I found a name in our family tree. Somebody named their kid Scather. Or Scather.
We have a guy named Welcome Return Miggs McElroy.
What?
Yep.
Welcome?
Welcome Return
Return.
Miggs McElroy.
Why?
So I guess the story goes that this couple got married, and the dad's last name was Miggs McElroy, and so they got married like right before they left, before he had to go for the war or whatever. So he leaves, but they, have a chance to for a little while before
That was a
they
hilarious
leave.
spring noise.
So he comes home, and there is a baby that shows up, and he is named Welcome Return it is a welcome return to have my dad back. And then the last name is Miggs McElroy.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on your family, but I hate it.
It's so horrible.
It is a very...
It's horrible.
Maybe he could go by Will.
You can hate on my family. That's
Or Well. And just be like, it's another form of Will. You know, and...
There's no really, like,
The R
good
is
nickname
silent.
for that, Welkie?
He's just gonna use his initials. WR.
Yeah.
W.R. Miggs McElroy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he went
W
by
stands
Miggs.
for wisdom.
W.R. Miggs.
I hope he becomes an author.
Oh,
That would be
I think
great.
he's long dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You can still dream. Maybe he did become an author.
maybe
Whatever.
he-
If I
maybe
become
he
an
wrote
author,
something.
it'll be W.R. Miggs McElroy.
Do
How's
it.
that?
Call
I
it.
don't hate it.
Yeah.
Pen
That's
name.
fine. Ooh, I do kind of like that, yeah.
I'm going by
It's a real-
Hezekiah
it's
if
a
I'm
real
doing
J-
that.
or
Just
a
one
Tolkien
name like
sort of
Madonna.
situation.
Hezekiah Hill.
Hezekiah. I should probably figure out where the name Hezekiah comes from. Make sure it's not like it's not going to be a demon name. Nobody names their kid.
It's a
sounds-
Bible name.
I was gonna say it sounds biblical.
Yeah, it sounds like a biblical name.
Probably comes from Hebrew.
Probably.
Oh, they're most definitely not a demon name.
All right, so
Not necessarily.
Jennies, or JN4s as they were named officially, were biplanes that had been developed and mass-produced in World War I and were used for training. Then when the war ended, there was this massive surplus of planes, so the military sold them to civilians and veterans for like $200 a pop, which would be about $3,900 in today's money. They were very popular planes for barnstormers because they were cheap to buy and easy to fly. But they were not well maintained, at all.
Yeah.
So hangars and protective things, they just didn't exist at that point, so the planes were exposed to the elements a lot, the fabrics,
Rusted.
the metals. Yeah, exactly. They were constantly in need of upgrades and fixes.
During this time, Bessie was approached by the African-American Seminole Film Producing Company. They wanted her to play a role in their upcoming film, Shadow and Sunshine.
Cool.
Believing it was a genuine opportunity to make some money for her aviation school, she accepted the role. When she got on set, she was informed that the first scene in the movie would require her to be wearing tatters, carrying a pack, and a walking stick on her back. Bessie walked off the set.
Yeah, I can understand why. Clearly, her walking off the movie set was a statement of principle. Opportunist though she was about her career, she was never an opportunist about race. She had no intention of perpetuating the derogatory image most whites had of most blacks. Doris Rich.
Yeah, that was one of her friends.
Okay.
All right. In 1925, Bessie was back to flying, and she performed at a show in Waxahachie. And while planning the event, the project managers fully intended to have segregated crowds, like I told you,
Right.
and separate entrances. So she threatened not to perform if that happened. And at this point, black people are still very, very much a different class, but Bessie's also a big fucking deal.
Right.
If you're gonna have an air show, Bessie Coleman, woo!
Exactly.
Very cool.
It's going to draw it in. So if she's not going to perform, there goes all your money.
Right. So black people couldn't vote in many areas due to racist as fuck policies like literacy tests, poll taxes, economic reprisals, and just literal racial terrorism.
Yeah.
All of these things just had to work against each other and against black people at every fucking turn.
No matter what they did
They're
to
fucked.
try to change it, there was always a blockade in front of them.
Right. So Bessie just wasn't fucking having it. She was tired of herself and her other people being treated like they weren't worth the respect of basic human decency. So they changed the policy. It was either that or lose a huge name. And money is a huge motivator for people. When you get threatened to not have people show up, it's wait, just...
Well, all right, we'll make it work. Hold on.
She bought another Jenny and had it flown to Jacksonville for a show. It had been a recent purchase and they had to fly it from Dallas. Her mechanic and publicity agent was named William D. Willis, and as he flew the new, quote-unquote, new plane from Dallas to Florida, they had to make 3 forced landings due to the poor maintenance of the plane.
Oh, God.
That freaked her family out. They asked her not to fly it. Her friends asked her not to fly it. That thing was a death trap.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, this is no joke.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but she's like, I'm going to do it anyway. So she and her trusty mechanic, they just were determined to make it work. On April 30th, 1926, Bessie and William took the Jenny up for a test flight above a field. She wanted to do a dry run for her upcoming performance to study the terrain. William flew and Bessie rode along. Mm-hmm. Because there were no federal regulations at that point, flying was still considered a very dangerous hobby. According to the FAA website,
despite limited post-World War I technical developments, early aviation remained a dangerous business. Flying conditions proved difficult since the only navigation devices available to most pilots were magnetic compasses. Magnets are everything!
Magnets!
All compasses are magnetic.
I know, but I still want to shout them out.
That's another t-shirt.
that's like saying chai tea.
Just magnets.
Yeah, exactly. Pilots flew 200 to 500 feet above ground so they would navigate by roads and railways. Low visibility and night landings were made using bonfires on the field as lighting.
Ooh.
Literal smoke signals.
Yeah.
Fatal accidents were routine. Aviation industry leaders believed the airplane could not reach its full commercial potential without federal action to improve and maintain safety standards.
Understandable.
Yep.
At their urging, the Air Commerce Act was passed in 1926. This landmark legislation charged the Secretary of Commerce with fostering air commerce, issuing and enforcing air traffic rules, licensing pilots, certifying aircraft, establishing airways, and operating and maintaining aids to air navigation.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that as a human.
But Bessie wasn't prone to these yet.
Right.
It happened the same time. It happened the same year that she's going out on this flight.
Okay,
they hadn't quite gotten to the widespread nature of all of this. I don't think it had even been instituted quite
well,
yet.
okay.
It was the
I'm
same
thinking
year.
about it from the benefits we have now.
No, now it's fantastic.
Yes, but I forgot. We're back in the early days, so these are probably, like,
Yeah.
pretty rough.
So, back then...
There's no rules.
No, it's like when the cars were first invented. It's like...
No seatbelts, no nothing.
Yeah, so no regulations meant no pre-flight check. No pre-flight check meant that no one noticed the wrench stuck in the engine of the Jenny. 10 minutes into the flight, the wrench... 10 minutes into the flight, the wrench jammed the controls, which took power away from Willis and shot the plane into a nosedive, which then turned into a violent spin towards the Earth. Bessie, who had not been wearing any type of seatbelt or parachute for the dry run, was hurled from the plane at an altitude of 2,000 feet.
Oh my god!
She died instantly on hitting the ground.
Yeah.
I never knew how she died!
It's horrible.
She got fucking yeeted out of that plane.
Willis didn't even have it as lucky as that. He was stuck in the plane and he died on impact. The plane burst into a fiery explosion. Willis was 24 and Bessie was 34.
Blaze of glory.
Oh my god.
There was a funeral for her in Florida, and then her body was sent to Chicago, where the news of her death was carried throughout African American press.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
10,000 mourners showed up for the ceremonies planned in Chicago, which were led by journalist and activist Ida B. Wells.
Oh, yeah, okay.
From Dorothy Cochran, quote, Betsy was a real gutsy woman for the era. She figured out what she wanted to do, and she kept at it. It was not easy. Anyone else might have quit at the time.
I would have. I would not have had the strength to do what she did.
So this is from PBS.
Coleman has not been forgotten in the decades since her death. For a number of years, starting in 1931, black pilots from Chicago instituted an annual flyover of her grave. In 1977, a group of African-American women pilots established the Bessie Coleman Aviators Club, and in 1992, a Chicago City Council resolution requested that the U.S. Postal Service issue a Bessie Coleman stamp. The resolution noted that Bessie Coleman continues to inspire untold thousands, even millions of young persons with her sense of adventure, her positive attitude, and her determination to succeed.
That was excellent.
Thanks.
So that's Bessie.
Damn.
That sucks so
I
bad.
know. I am so upset.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Very
so
sudden.
much she could have done.
Very sudden, fiery, horrible death.
I mean,
But if this teaches us nothing, it's that no safety instruction is ever implemented until something horrible happens.
yeah.
We've talked about this in the show before when I was doing this with Kyria, but like OSHA regulations are written in blood. It's because we had people dying because they were being...
Babe, it's any safety regulation.
I mean, it's literally any safety regulation.
I'll give you a personal
It's written in
one.
blood.
When I was 16 years old, I rolled my minivan. I rolled the shit out of my minivan down a gravel road in our town with 4 other people in the car. And 2 summers later, they paved that road because of us.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
I mean, not nice, but like...
Historically, unpaved country farm road, gravel. As soon as we wrecked our shit and almost died, all right, we gotta pave that.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
done anything
crazy.
like that.
I
I have nothing. I got my arm stuck in a revolving door as a kid. That's about
fun.
it. I don't know if they put a sign up.
Do you think your hand was gonna pop off?
I was very worried it was at the elbow.
Ah!
I was very, very worried, and my mom told that story for years. And then one time I got lost as a kid, like
And
a
I was
5-year-old.
almost an involuntary amputee.
I almost was. There was also a time I was almost involuntarily. Well, I was.
Is any amputee ever a voluntary amputee?
Oh, plenty. So a lot of it is like
pain, chronic pain?
no, not pain, but like surgery. Like just in, I'm saying like this would have been a tragic like popped her arm off.
Yeah, it could have popped right there.
Some amputations are elective surgery. Also, hold on, if we're gonna be woke as fuck, lately this is a new thing. People are getting elective, non-necessary amputations to just identify as disabled.
What?
This is a real thing that people are doing. Look it up. Give it a goog. It's happening.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks.
Wow.
What does that say about our...
Can't have nothing. It says that people have attention issues. But yeah, it's fucked. Also, like, yeah, as somebody who knows people who have had amputations, like, They don't always make you get one, but sometimes it makes your life easier.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for learning with us about Bessie Coleman. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Reddit. We can be found at r/wellbehavedwomen. You can email us on the Gmails at wellbehavedwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
That's the same username for Instagram if you want to go there. Well-Behaved Women Podcast.
And then, is that the one without the E in
Nope.
behave?
Twitter is the one that has the weird thing, and it's because of the
forget.
character count. It's the letter B, behaved women.
All right.
Oh, well.
Perfect.
So dumb. I don't even know if we actually have traffic there. I don't know.
Like, a little.
Yeah.
Almost none right now.
But,
Oh.
like and subscribe or whatever.
Twitter's not the best place for that.
That's fine.
I like the Reddits and...
Yeah, engage with us on another platform if you want to.
Yes,
we would
yes,
love to hear from
absolutely.
you. We've
Or,
got a
like,
Discord.
tell us what platform you're on. That
Yeah,
you
tell
wanna
us what
be
platform.
engaged with.
Yeah.
and let us know if there's anybody
there's something
you want
we're
to hear
missing.
about.
We don't know if you don't tell us.
Yeah.
And let us know if there's anybody you want to hear about. Feel free to comment. And please rate our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Obviously, a 5-star would be so appreciated. It's how the podcast gets found. And you can share with other people at any platform you wish.
The sooner we grow, the sooner we can make some money, and the sooner we can get better mics so our audio doesn't suck so bad.
Yeah, someday.
Fantastic.
Someday. Well, thank you all so much. And...
We outie.
Bye.
Peace.
It's not for you, Gary.
For you, Gary!
You gotta clip it. There's
Do the
enough-
thing. Do
there's
the
a-
thing.
It's not for you, Gary.